Sometimes it's just business.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast. We watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
So all we do here is business.
That's right. Business time, baby.
Business time. It is business time right now. Okay. Yeah. So here we are. Full breakdown of the 2020 Netflix flick, The Last Thing He Wanted.
The last thing we wanted.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like every review headline was that.
I always like that. It was like reading the reviews for Burnt. It was always like, this one's not going to make it out of the kitchen. This one, 86, this movie. It's like, all right, come on.
Son of a.
Yeah. This one's overcooked. It's like, all right, relax. But yeah, this movie is definitely the last thing we want. God damn it.
Yeah, and overcooked. I don't know.
And overcooked. Yeah, cooked for too long. All right. Well, do you want to? Yeah. We have plenty of time to get to how much we dislike this one. Mm-hmm. It earned its 5%. But anyways, do you want to give a quick recap of what this was about?
Sure. So the last thing he wanted is about
to watch this.
A veteran DC journalist loses the thread of her own narrative when a guilt-propelled errand for her father thrusts her from byline to unwitting subject in the very story she's trying to break. Adapted from Joan Didion's namesake novel.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
Thanks. And I looked it up. It is Didion.
It is Didion. Okay.
So we're all right.
We're doing good. We're doing good things so far.
Yeah. Listeners, I'm doing the work.
For you.
That's right. That's right. I know you cared a lot.
So our expectations, our prognostications, I mean,
not bad.
Actually, we weren't too far off.
Like it did kind of turn into Valentine's Day to your point.
It kind of did. She definitely had a different name, and she was kind of undercover and trying to get away from the situation. And
there's a
spoilers.
love story.
There's a love story and spoilers. I mean, not everybody dies, but
most of them die. Yeah, not everybody I wanted to dies. But.
Yes, but so yeah, I think I'm gonna say nailed it.
Yeah, great work, us.
Yeah,
very impressed. Right, maybe the closest we've been actually in a long time.
Yeah, like it's actually scary, spot on. So, all right, well, let's keep moving here, right? So, quick info on this one. Mm-hmm. So, this is directed by D. Reese.
Reese, I looked that one up too.
It's Reese, okay. Reese, D. Reese. They directed Pariah and Mudbound. Mudbound, I didn't see. That's a Netflix flick, right?
Wrote both of them also, and no, Mudbound actually is like super critically acclaimed. It got nominated for like 100 awards.
Yeah, I knew that. I actually thought it wasn't a Netflix movie though.
I don't think so. I think it was
just on Netflix.
I think it happens to be on Netflix, but I don't believe it. Maybe it's a Netflix I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a Netflix original, but maybe
I heard a lot of good things about that one. I hadn't seen it though, so
yeah. No, like nominated for the award for best writing.
Oh,
which, like,
interesting.
What a plot twist.
Yeah. You got us.
Yeah, and Pariah also was like award, like people like raved about it at Sundance. Like it's like I don't know. Both of these movies were critical darlings, so to have such a flop afterwards, you're like, come on.
It's bound to happen, right? But yeah, woof. Okay. Yeah, I feel like at this point people are just taking Netflix's money and just being like, yeah, whatever, here you go.
Yes, exactly. And like I didn't put in a fast fact about it, not to spoil anything, but like in interviews with her after this movie, that's exactly basically what she said. She was like, well, you know, sometimes you get a flop. she's like, I'm glad I got a bad one out of the way.
It happens, right? It's gonna
onwards
happen.
And upwards, right?
Yeah. So screenwriters behind this, D. Reese, right? Mm-hmm. And Marco Villalobos.
Yep, still a cool name.
And it's his only writing credit.
That's right. I think he had like a couple of shorts, but like definitely his only film, like major film writing credit.
Yeah,
and hasn't done much of anything else. So,
all right.
Marco Villalobos is a mystery.
Yeah, and he's listed first, so maybe he did like the majority of it, and maybe that's why it's a little.
I think so. Yeah. Maybe she came in and fixed it after.
Yeah, I did her best. Yeah, and then of course it was based on the book by Joan Didion, but she had nothing to do with the screenwriting or anything like that. So it seems like,
as far as I know, yeah, she was old as fuck by then. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
She died a couple years ago. Not.
Oh, Jesus. Anything. Spoilers.
I mean, she's again old as fuck. So who cares?
I mean. She lived her life.
Yeah, she had a good run.
Hey, your prognostication was right. Everyone dies. So
that's right. That's right. Well, my prognostication is going to be right about us all. Everyone dies at some point.
So who's in this? So we've got Anne Hathaway leading the way as Elena, right? McMahon. Yeah. Rosie Perez is Alma Guerrero. I don't think I caught anyone's names. I was like, that guy, that person, dude.
Same. Rosie Perez. I think I wrote Rosie Perez all the time.
Yeah. Ben Affleck. I just kept writing Ben. Yeah. I got her. That was it. And then Ben Affleck, I was like, Ben, I don't know what his name is. He's Treat Morrison. What a stupid name.
Bad writing, Joan Didion.
Yeah. Treat Morrison.
Roll over in your grave for me.
Willem Dafoe playing Dick McMahon. Which
underutilized.
Dick McMahon. And then Edi, is that Gathegi?
I think Gathegi, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Edi Gathegi plays Jones, who I've seen him in things. I can't remember what, but he's in stuff and things.
I don't know. I did not look.
Maybe I've just seen him in stuff randomly. Anyways.
Yeah, it seems like he's like just in a bunch of stuff.
Okay. Yeah,
the Blacklist, I think.
Yeah, 13 episodes of The Blacklist. I've watched a bit of that, so maybe that's where I've caught him. But okay.
Wait a second. He's 8-Ball in the TV movie for Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, really?
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Great credit. I loved 8-Ball in GTA 3.
Justified. Okay, a couple episodes of that. Oh, that's why he was in the Twilight Saga.
Oh yeah, Laurent. Yeah.
Breaking Dawn Part 2, which you can go listen to in our archives there.
Yep. And X-Men First Class.
Okay. Okay. Alice shrugged, didn't see it, but yeah, okay.
I did see that too. Okay, yeah. So I was wondering. I thought the same thing. I've seen this guy in a bunch of stuff.
That's why I remember him, because he's in Twilight, which we just watched recently.
Laurent is like a pretty main character. He's like the Southern guy that he dies, I think, in Part two, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. Everyone dies, right?
Yeah, everyone dies. That's right. Say it, you're going to be right.
Who else we got? So we got Mel Rodriguez plays Barry Sedlow. I have no idea who that is.
That was the doc guy who I only added him in this list because I was like, otherwise I'm going to call him Doc Guy the whole time.
That's and
he's like kind of a main character.
Yeah. As
far as the movie goes.
Yeah, he definitely is, especially for the plot and like her being stuck. So. And then we got, rounding it out, we got Diomedes Rodriguez.
No relation, I'm assuming.
Glistening Boy. Oh my God.
I hope it was like the kid at the Sandinista compound. I don't know who Glistening Boy could be otherwise.
I thought it was towards the end there. I thought it was the
you
lover.
Saw another Glistening Boy?
Yeah, well, the guy who's in the pool, who jumps in the pool, where you see full frontal nudity. Yeah.
You think Full Frontal guy is Glistening Boy?
I think so.
I hope so too.
I think so.
Why would they credit him as boy though? He's a man. Right. He's a full grown man.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. I like it. We're not going to look. I don't care.
We're not going to go down that path any further.
No.
So production budget, all that sort of stuff. We can't get any numbers because it's a Netflix flick, right? So
no, that's not true. We get budget. We get budget.
We get budget, but I'm saying like box office stuff, we won't get that because there is none as well.
Sorry. Yeah. Like, I mean, we don't usually get budget from Netflix things either. For whatever reason, they decided to talk about the budget on this one.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Is it really that much?
Yeah.
This had a budget of $100 million.
That's incredible.
What? Oh my goodness.
That's why I wanted to make sure we called that out.
$100 million
on what?
It's got to be Ben Affleck's 5 Minutes and Anne Hathaway, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this movie must have lost so much money.
Holy smokes! There's no way that they got that many subscriptions to cover that.
No, they probably got canceled subscriptions because of it. I would assume.
$100 million for what? The plane?
$100 million big ones. I don't know, and it's like I think the majority of the movie, it's a fast fact, but it doesn't really matter. It's shot in Puerto Rico, so it's not like
that's not gonna like
it's not a huge budget breaker as far as I know.
Yeah. Wow. And all they're on is like phone calls, and I mean maybe because they got there's not like a ton of cars, so like they don't have to worry about like making things look like the 80s. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it must be the planes. Like they had like 3 planes in the movie.
Oh man. I mean, I'm sure Ben Affleck commands a pretty good chunk, but I don't like. No, yeah, that's a lot.
And this, I think, started production in 2018. So, like, Ben Affleck is prime Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's Batman Flack, right? So
yeah, it's not like 1996 Ben Affleck.
This seems like another like Netflix just blank check writing and being like, let's get the writer director of Mudbound and Pariah. Those movies are award winning. Blah blah blah. Here's $1 gajillion to go do this. They paid. That movie Bright that's on there. That was like one of their
with
first
Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see it, but
yeah, Max Landis, who I think is probably enemy of the pod. He's kind of a dingleberry. They paid him like something like $9 million or something for the script for that movie.
What?
Yeah, it was some ridiculous amount of money, like in the
the script.
Yes, just for the script.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's like
what are they doing? Like I thought they had professionals over there.
I don't think so. Still, $100 million. Okay. Well,
yeah. Right. Well, so I don't think Netflix ponied up all of it for this. And I don't think I wrote it down as a fast fact because it didn't seem worthy of a fast fact. But when we get to it, Elevated, the production company.
Yeah.
So that's Carrie Elwes's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Carrie Ewells.
Ewells, however you pronounce his name. I'm going to say Elwes forever because it's spelled that way, and so I will forever say it that way. But yeah, his older brother it's his production company, and so I'm like, I bet they put up a bunch of money for this.
Barry Elwes?
I wish. No, it's Cassian.
Ugh, of course.
Stupid name.
We're on a hunt for names today, so watch out.
Right. That's right. Enemy of the pod, Cassian Elwes.
Oh my goodness!
I looked up how to pronounce everyone else's name except Carrie Elwes because I was like, I don't care about this. Fuck that guy.
Elwes it is. All right, so that's mind blowing. $100 million. Wow, what did you do, Netflix? What are you doing?
On what?
Yeah, like I'm thinking about this movie, and we're gonna go through it, and we get to the end of it. I'm gonna still think about $100 million to make this.
Now, not to toot my own horn here, but
yeah.
While you were saying that, I listened to a quick YouTube pronunciation. Carrie Elwes is what they.
No,
that's what YouTube says. I don't know.
YouTube. What does YouTube know?
I don't know. Lots.
All right. So this sits Rotten Tomatoes 5% on the tomato meter and 13% audience score.
Which generous by the audience.
I think that 13% are like the hardcore Anne Hathaway, Ben Affleck fans who will like, I'm going to watch it anyways, and I'm going to give it,
yeah,
percents.
I don't. Anne Hathaway's bad casting for this movie too, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, we could do ameliorate here and even recast if we need to at the end, but
we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that one because I think you're right. I think she's not the right. She wasn't the right person for it.
No.
Okay. All right. Fast facts. So you pulled these, so I'm gonna let you rip through them.
Okay.
And I will try to distract you and take us off target.
Perfect. A little role reversal.
Yeah.
I'll fact you, Daddy.
Damn it.
Still gonna say it.
Damn it.
All right. So I just wanted to call this out. It's not a fast fact at all, but I liked this line. One of the most prominent reviews, RogerEbert.com. Nick Allen's the reviewer. Incomprehensible to an almost impressive degree.
That is.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, nailed it. If that's his entire review is just that sentence, done.
Yeah,
I nailed it. Like
unwatchable movie.
it
doesn't make sense from front to back.
Yeah, and there's like things just happening, I think just for the sake of happening, and it's just
inexplicable.
Yeah.
Incomprehensible.
I think I literally texted you with like 45 minutes ago, and I was like, I think I hit the point where this movie just, I don't know what's happening anymore. Like,
yes.
Like nothing makes any sense.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do I care?
Mm-hmm. Now, I know you're going to tie back to this a little bit later, but fun fact, Ben Affleck replaced Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage originally attached to this movie, which
that
I think would have been better.
Yeah, completely changes this movie.
Yes, 100%, and makes it arguably watchable, I think.
Because he's going to bring some Nick Cage stuff to the set,
Yes.
and it's just like that's what you need.
Exactly. He's going to bring in some rewrites or something. Like Ben Affleck barely in this movie. Also.
He's barely in it. He's just kind of like, I don't know. He's like yeah.
Oh, such a dud. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, not interesting at all. He literally just came in for the paycheck.
Yes, which I respect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Yeah. So another one for you. Anne Hathaway. This is one of 2 Golden Raspberry Award nominations that she got in 2020.
Oof.
For Worst Actress. Both of them for Worst Actress.
Ooh.
So this is one, and the other one was The Witches. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not. I don't know what that is.
It's so based on like a Roald Dahl book or something. It's The Witches. They did an old version of it. This is like a remake. It's fine. It was okay.
Yikes.
She didn't win.
2 years.
She did not win.
0 for 2.
0 for 2. Kate Hudson, friend of the pod.
Oh.
Won that year.
Good for her. That's exciting.
2 Golden Raspberries in 1 year. Not a good look.
I think you take the next year off, and you kind of breathe, and then you come back at it, regroup yourself.
Now, the next few I'm going to be kind of mad about. There was a distinct lack of trivia on
it looks like
IMDb about this.
Oh, man, I have to be angry about these. Okay.
So the first one didn't do any fact checking here.
Yeah.
Infamously noted as being the lowest rated, i.e. most disliked, you can thumbs down.
Yeah.
Movie on Netflix.
Wow.
Not sure if that's true, but wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. 5%, 13%. The numbers don't lie.
Because Anne Hathaway and Ben Affleck, millions of people watched it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awful.
Wow. That's fun. Okay.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. The only reason why I questioned it is because I couldn't fact check it. The next 2 are ones that just make me furious, but I'm going to read them anyway.
I love it.
So the cast includes 2 Oscar winners.
Oh my God.
Anne Hathaway and Ben Affleck, and 2 Oscar nominees, Willem Dafoe and Rosie Perez.
God damn you. How many of them have been nominated for Raspberry Awards?
Probably all of them, actually.
Well, we know Anne Hathaway's was nominated for 2.
Those were not her first Golden Raspberry nominations. I'm no Hathaway stan, but she's okay.
Yeah. Oh man!
And then you get another one. You're gonna love.
I already. Now I know it. Now I know how you feel when I do these. Okay, all right,
exactly.
I see.
The shoe is on the other foot.
We're even now.
So Ben and Anne, first name basis,
of course, obviously.
Both have played DC characters, DC Comics characters. So we all know Ben Affleck is Batman, of course. His most famous role.
Yes.
And Anne Hathaway played Selena in The Dark Knight Rises. So.
Okay. All right.
Go fuck yourself. And you too, IMDb user who wrote those.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Okay, the last one is an actual fast fact, more of a goof, I guess, but I didn't want to call it out later. So apparently in the year 2000, the Republican Party...
Year 2000.
What a year.
Yeah.
Remember, like, Homeland Security didn't exist?
Yeah.
What a good year.
Okay. You could do whatever you want back then.
That's right. I could leave my shoes on at the airport.
Yep.
So for whatever reason, decided to... I don't know, listeners... And Russ, I don't know if you're familiar with the Republican logo.
A little bit.
It's an elephant with a blue half and a red half. Top half blue, bottom half red.
Right.
The stars on the top half, like the flag, right?
Yep.
For some reason, they decided to turn the stars upside down on the blue part.
Okay.
And made the blue like slightly darker.
Okay.
And in the movie, the Reagan rally that they show, they using like the new logo.
Oh, so the logo actually changed in 2000, but the logo they're using in the movie was showing
the one from 2000.
Whoops.
Yeah, you dummies.
That's good. I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, kind of fun.
That seems like an easy one to like. You just Google Republican Party logo 1984.
Right? Like that's just someone just like not doing any work. This person was like, you know what? They paid me $500,000 to do this somehow.
Yeah.
Out of the $100 million budget.
How do we get that job?
Yeah. A couple other like half-baked fast facts for you before we move on.
Yeah.
I was reading an interview that Anne Hathaway and Dee Reese did with the LA Times, and and they're like weirdly contentious.
Interesting.
at points. They were kind of odd. So apparently Joan Didion was like, I don't know. She seems like she's like a super famous writer that we're schmucks for not having heard of.
Yikes. Yeah. Whoops.
But at the same time, she also seems like kind of she might have been a garbage person. I don't know.
Really?
There's no way to know for sure. But she's like, there's like, if you look at pictures of her, you probably recognize like, oh, she's that person. Like there's like old timey smoking cigarette pictures, very famous smoker, like super skinny. And so they were like, oh, Anne Hathaway, you're perfect for this. Like, except for whatever reason, and this is where I'm like, maybe Dee Reese like just kind of being a meanie. I don't know. Like it was like, ooh, actually, Anne Hathaway, we're kind of modeling this character after Joan Didion, but also I want you to gain 20 pounds for this role.
Yeah.
She gained 20 pounds for this role.
Oh, really?
Anne Hathaway, yeah. For some reason, you're like, this is not like what?
What?
This is not the role for that. And the reason given was they're like, you need to look like somebody who can handle herself. And like they're like, Anne Hathaway, you look like a chump. Like you look like a pushover.
You look like you can't handle yourself. Put on 20 pounds, then you'll look the
Exactly. So weird.
Oh man. Interesting. Okay. So she was a journalist and then okay. That's her in 2008.
Right? Like she looks kind of familiar, right?
Yeah, kind of. All right.
Yeah, dead as hell now, but I don't want to say this movie killed her, but she died shortly after this movie came out. So
do you know much about the book itself though? Like
nothing. No.
I mean, this is one of those things. I'm sorry for my stupidity here, but this is one of those things where it's like kind of fictional. It's a fictional setup, but based around like real events, right? Like obviously that's what
actually, now that you say that, I do know a couple things about the book.
Fire away. Because
I forgot. So Rosie Perez character.
Yeah.
Entirely made up for the movie. Not in the book at all.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Is one part of it. And then the other big change, there are, I guess, a lot of changes that they made. So it's not very true to the book from what I've heard. The other big change was Jones's character, who maybe the most interesting character, like maybe the best character in the movie.
Yeah.
Despite his lack of screen time. In the book, they don't build up the character as being like like maybe he's suspicious. Like I think Dee Reese was trying to bring like an element of like bringing race into it a little bit of like from the 80s of like well, she trusts this Ben Affleck character that she knows is not super trustworthy,
right?
Implicitly, but is distrustful of this guy who's been trying to help her the whole time. And you're like, oh well, he's like from Latin America, so he can't be trustworthy.
Right. It's a 1980s xenophobia there a little bit, and just
exactly. So I like what they did with the Jones character kind of in the movie, and apparently he's just kind of like less important in the book, or less like built up to be something that he's not.
Well, that's good. Is that it? Is that all the fast facts we got?
That's the whole
enchilada,
the whole shebang. Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
I don't know if it's not a fast fact, but I was gonna say, like, should we give like a brief one sentence historical context just so we talked about Iran-Contra in the trailer trash, and we're not really going to talk about it that much during the movie.
No. So like, that's the thing about this. It's weird. Like they set it up kind of to be more of like a political, I mean, I guess it kind of is a political thriller, but
yeah,
I thought it was gonna be way more. That's kind of weird. I guess it kind of is involved, but I don't know.
Very they talk about Nicaragua.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's that way, I guess.
It felt like those things were just mentioned to let you know this is taking place in the 80s. Like that's what it felt like. Not like tangential was there. It was just kind of like,
Exactly. And because in the movie they're directly arming the Contras.
Yes.
And that's not the whole point of Iran-Contra is that was not the case. So listeners, if you don't remember the 80s, I'm included in that bucket. I just like history. Basically what happened was we're supporting this. There's a left-wing revolution in Nicaragua. The Sandinistas decided to take over because there was this regime, the Somoza regime, which they do mention briefly in the movie, that had held power in Nicaragua for 40 years. This one dictator family, basically. Left-wing revolution, Sandinistas take over, immediately invest in literacy and healthcare and all the things that left-wing governments tend to do. They're like, what we should do?
Yeah.
Make people successful and then they'll be happy.
It's one of those isms, right?
Right, exactly. And now, not to say that the Sandinistas are perfect, because they're, and they get way worse later on. But at this point, they're good. They're definitely the good guys, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In the 80s. And so there's this rebel group, the Contras, which is really made up of a bunch of different groups. They
not the video game.
That's correct.
Yes, not the video game.
Not to be confused with the video game. It's a bunch of different factions that kind of roll up into this Contra bucket. And so Reagan and the rest of the right-wing establishment in the US are like, you guys, remember Cuba? They're like, we can't let this happen again. Not in our hemisphere. And so they were like, oh God, they're like, can you believe it? Healthcare, literacy.
Boring.
They're like, we have an AIDS crisis to ignore.
Right.
So instead they backed the Contras financially, and they spent a lot of money on it. And then I think it was 1985, maybe somewhere in the mid 80s. The Congress was like, "Yo, let's stop doing that. Stop." No more spending money on this, please.
Yeah.
And specifically said, no more spending money on this, please. And then Reagan administration, debatable how much he knew about it directly, but he definitely did.
Oh yeah. I mean, come
on. So we get our hero, Ollie North. By hero, I mean dirtbag Ollie North coming in and facilitating with the Secretary of Defense and a bunch of other super high profile people in the administration, and find a way to funnel money to the Contras despite the country's best interests. And how they do that is by selling weapons to Iran via Lebanon.
It's the old end around move.
Yeah, it's very convoluted, but that's how you give the money back to the Contras to fight the Sandinistas and extend the Nicaraguan civil war by a decade, basically. Great work, team.
We did it. What did we do? Don't worry about it.
We did it. Eventually they gave up and they were voted out and then peacefully transferred powers dictators definitely do all the time.
Decisions were made.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, that's the historical backdrop that this movie is set against very loosely and take a lot of liberties with everything happening here.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was good. That was a history with Jared. I like it.
Yeah. Thanks. My 3-minute summary of the Iran-Contra affair. Way more complicated than that.
That's gonna be one of those floating segments we have where it's just history with Jared, where if it feels right, you'll do a little history lesson. That's
I like it.
I love it. Good.
Can do.
All right. You want to Hollywood pitch me, motherfucker?
You got it, pal. So this movie is obviously American made.
Yeah.
Meets The Man Who Wasn't There. Now, have you seen both of these movies?
I've seen American Made. I've definitely seen. That's the Tom Cruise one, right? With the planes and the drugs. Yeah.
Recent Tom Cruise one.
Yeah. The Man Who Wasn't There. I don't think so. Is that with what's his face there?
Billy Bob Thornton. Yep.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep. It's a Coen Brothers joint from I think 2001 maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty early 2000s, right?
Yep.
I think I've seen it, but it's a very long. Yeah, black and white. Yeah. I've seen it, but I don't remember it. So go ahead.
Noir style.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
So American Made, this one was kind of cheating. American Made is about Iran-Contra also.
Yes. Yeah.
But like this movie, loosely based, very loosely based.
Yeah.
Play very liberally with the facts in both scenarios. At least American Made is kind of based on actual people.
As a wise man once told me, don't let facts interfere with a good story.
That's right. That's right. And this one, not at all based on any seemingly real characters. It's just whole cloth. So both movies feature.
If you say planes,
I was going to say TWA.
I knew
famous defunct airline.
Oh man, that's right.
TWA.
Trans World America, right?
Trans World Airlines. I think.
Trans World Airlines. That's right. Yeah. Not America. Yeah.
Don't
make any sense.
One. I'm racking up points here.
I like it. Okay. You do one.
This isn't a connection, but it's more like a how embarrassing. American Made, Tom Cruise blockbuster flick, only cost $50 million.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you can make 2 American Mades for one of these.
And I think that was such a better movie.
Yeah, American Made is actually like a good movie.
Yeah.
Very watchable. Both movies have a main character that kind of sucks.
Yep.
So like Tom Cruise is not really the hero of the movie.
No.
And Anne Hathaway is like kind of annoying and also not like makes her own trouble most of the movie and is not the hero either, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot like the decision making and motivations are kind of painful, but
exactly. Speaking of them both being crappy, they both unintentionally become like smuggler traffickers.
Yep. Yeah.
Neither one wants to do that originally, anyway. Both movies have some important betrayals, like some unexpected twists and turns that you didn't think. People they betrayed by people they trust.
I buy that. Also
betrayed by the government in both.
Aren't we all?
Right? Well, preach, brother. The main character in both movies dies at the end in kind of like an anticlimactic assassination.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, same movie, but better.
They both get shot and they're like, oh, well, whatever. And then, like they both kind of do a disservice to Iran-Contra in terms of like, they kind of dance around the premise. Like there's no real accusations thrown. There's nothing, no one's held accountable. It's just like, a few reporters asking questions and like they allude to it.
Yeah, they kind of skirt around the thing. It's like, well, this is the thing you want to make a movie about.
Right.
Can do that.
Make it the star. Nope, not interested. And then meets The Man Who Wasn't There. This one I had to stretch a little bit more, but
yeah.
I'll make it work. So both movies set in the past.
I can't laugh because that's going to be kind of one of mine. So
Man Who Wasn't There is in like the 40s, 50s, so I guess it's a little different. But both feature prominent unnecessary voiceover that makes me upset.
Oh God, yeah, in this movie, no need.
Yeah, it's better in the Coen Brothers movie, but still not great.
Yeah.
Both of them have abusive characters with a drinking problem.
Yep. Okay.
So the main character, Ed's wife in The Man Who Wasn't There, is the like she's definitely cheating on him and is like kind of a jerk. And is drunk all the time, just like
Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In this movie, I'm assuming Willem Dafoe's character had an affair at some point. So
it's there.
Chalk that up too.
Yeah. We'll add that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give that one to
you. Just like American Made and this one too, kind of a 3-way here. Extra connection. Also, this one, the Coen Brothers one, also has like all kinds of weird twists and turns. So like, big spoilers if you haven't seen it, listeners. The wife, the basic premise here is Ed is like a poor barber guy, decides to make a bit of money, do some embezzling from his wife's boss, who he thinks she's having an affair with, because she probably is, and she ends up getting arrested for the crime that Ed did. And then like while she's in jail for said crime, she kills herself, like really unexpectedly, like hangs herself. And then another twist, she was pregnant with not Ed's kid. So it's like twist after twist after twist. And then another twist, Ed gets in trouble for the crime anyway, because there's some documents that ties him back to the embezzling and whatever else. Goes to trial. There's a big mistrial because the lawyer and other like attacks him.
Yep.
Then has a retrial where he gets sentenced to death. Kind of out of nowhere. And then that movie like ends basically like he's on death row, writing up his life story basically.
Yeah.
Like a journalist might.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
In this movie.
Okay.
And then main character dies at the end. Just like this movie. Ed gets put to death. And then they both have like kind of weird throwaway bits that could have been interesting, in my opinion, but they didn't develop at all. Like, Anne Hathaway's daughter in this movie
felt like it was just tacked on to,
right. Could have been interesting. Did nothing with it. And right before Ed gets executed in The Man Who Wasn't There, he like looks out the jail window and sees a UFO.
Okay.
And they're like, well, throw that away.
Right.
Because it's the Coen brothers. And
right.
So,
they can do that.
Exactly. And that's it. My elaborate pitch this time around.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was very convoluted, just like this movie.
That's
so
right.
I'm meta pitching your pitch there.
What? That's crazy. All right, what do you got?
I got like this movie. I got like halfway through your pitch and I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. I don't even know what's happening.
Fair. I respect that.
Why is Anne Hathaway here? What is she doing?
No one knows for sure.
All right, so I am gonna go pretty direct. I'm gonna need your help here because the second part of this, I actually haven't seen this movie, but I know about it. So I'm just gonna use the surface bits of it. But I'm gonna go. It's The Usual Suspects meets Lord of War.
Love it.
Yep, I'm going.
Two of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I mean, Usual Suspects is great. Lord of War, I will watch, but I'm going Usual Suspects. I mean, mainly for the big. There's so many Kaiser Soze moments in this movie, the movie we're watching, right? That we watched, especially at the end, and it's like, oh, piecing it all together, right? So there's that kind of big moment, but it happens multiple times, which I think is why that's why it kind of dilutes the ending, and it's kind of like,
yes,
all right, okay, all right. Twist me once, shame on you, but twist me twice.
There's like 4 Kaiser Soze moments in this movie. It's like, and you're like, all right, I get it.
All right, got it. Got it. It's a very confusing time. I think, isn't there a big deal in the boat? Is that more arms dealing going on? Usual Suspects? I forget. Isn't that?
Oh, probably. Yeah,
I think it is. Right? It's like an arms deal or something like that, right?
Drugs or arms.
Yeah, something like that. Doll arms and drugs, right? So that's it for that one. And then Lord of War, I'm going with the time period, right? We got 80s, we got arms dealing, right, in the 80s.
Yep, that's right.
I'm throwing in the extra layer of Nicolas Cage was supposed to be in this movie playing Ben Affleck's character, so I'll take that one. And I think that's all I got for that. What do you get? Did you anything?
A couple, I think. So one, like both play on fears of the Soviets.
Okay. Yep.
Obviously a backdrop to this movie, and the whole premise of Lord of War is like he's a Ukrainian immigrant or child of Ukrainian immigrants.
Yep.
And like decides to become an arms dealer and basically buys a bunch of old Soviet shit and sells it to dictators and stuff.
Gotta make it check, Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Gets betrayed by a loved one.
Okay.
At the end.
Yeah.
So see, this is where like I don't know if I want to spoil the movie for you because I want you to watch it, but
yeah, no, we can leave it at that. I think that's a good enough for my pitch. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and that's probably it.
Okay. Well, thanks for filling in there a little bit.
Yeah. Lord of War is good though. It has like a good ending and is enjoyable. So unlike this movie.
Unlike this movie. All right.
Also about 2 hours. So there you go. Chalk that up.
Yeah, hour and 55 minutes. This is the last thing you wanted. Could have cut a lot, but we'll get to that in part 2 when we ameliorate.
Yep. Yes, please.
All right, so let's get into breaking this thing down here, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we get right off the bat who made this thing, right? We get Netflix. We get Elevated. Elevated was the
Elwes.
Cashew Elwes.
Cashew Elwes, that's right.
Cashew Elwes.
Known to his friends, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's Cashew. And we get Little Red Hen Productions.
Didn't look that one up.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah.
No,
well. And then it starts out with just like some old war footage kind of, right? And it's
too
grainy.
Much.
Yeah. And I just don't like this never, I guess it kind of sets the tone, but then the rest of the movie
does it?
Doesn't really follow up on this, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's like this is again, like part of why we gave that, historical context at the beginning of our podcast is that's what they try to do, but I think did a good job instead.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but
no, you did a great job, man. Toot that horn.
They suck at this because I think they're trying to show us like the Nicaraguan Civil War leading up to and the El Salvadoran Civil War and stuff leading up to something that they never pay off.
Right. And it's just showing this footage of the village and stuff like this and military stuff, blah blah blah, and then they're overlaying it with like it looks like a typewriter, like
so much reading.
So much reading. And also I was just like, some of this I'm like, I don't want to read this much, and the stuff I am reading I'm like, I don't like I think the takeaways were like at least according to shit ain't good.
Reporter. Right. Things are bad. Both sides are doing war crimes.
And
it's not great. Only one female survivor, which I don't know. Is that supposed to be our hero? Because Rosie Perez is there too.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. I think we can just gloss over the rest of that. Who cares?
Yeah, and then we get the title card, right? 1982. Where are they? Morazan, El Salvador.
Morazan Department. Yeah. She's there. Like I guess the beginning kind of sets up that she's a
journalist,
a war journalist.
Yeah, which
sure.
Yeah, it could have just gone right to this part.
Yeah. Yes, it could have just started 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
I agree. We're ameliorating already.
Yeah. So then we're in the jungle here, and now it turns into like now we're out of the old timey footage, and we're actually there. We got Elena
in El Salvador.
In El Salvador, yep. We got Anne Hathaway's character Elena and Rosie Perez's character. Yep. I've already forgot her name.
Alma.
I might just call her Rosie.
Yeah, I probably will.
And they're just like they're getting kind of like on a guided tour with some local military types. It looks
they're
right?
guerrillas, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And because she's she at this point, I don't even know which side she's embedded with. They're like trying to say that she's embedded with the Sandinistas at some points, but then I think she's embedded with the Contras at this point.
Yeah, and basically they're checking like a burned out village. You get jets flying over just to kind of give us like, she's in the war zone here. Right,
because they're like they're all tangentially related to El Salvador anyway, but like nothing to do with Nicaragua at this point either.
Yeah,
this is from the trailer too. They do like taking pictures of the bullets and examining them. They're like, oh, she's some kind of expert, I guess, on
stuff,
violence. I don't know.
Doing her job, I guess. And then she kicks in a voiceover, right? And she's just giving on this voiceover about it is so long.
I hate the writing style. I think I didn't
think they pulled it right from the book, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. It sounds like a book.
Yes.
And Anne Hathaway was like raving about in the interview I read, raving about Joan Didion's writing style of being so concise and so terse. And like, I'm like, oh, it sounds like an Aaron Sorkin script
right.
At times of like, people don't talk this way.
Right. It's just like really fast and snappy and smart and like,
yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. But again, too much. And I didn't write any of it down because I don't care.
Yeah, she goes on about life and blood. And basically it just sounds like who would do this? Who would allow this thing? Right. And she does this whole big voiceover spiel that goes for like 2 or 3 scenes. And then she wraps up at the very end. Right. Like I think at the very end of the movie, she picks back up the voiceover and.
Well, she repeats the same bit. They do.
Oh, is it just a repeating? I thought it was
repeated.
I heard her say like some similar lines. I thought it was just like a continuation and ending. Yeah.
No, she repeats it because it's the who chose money over life. Who did?
Oh, yeah.
Who decided that these things were more important than human people? You're like, all right.
Well, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's like find the time and the money comes with it. And you're like, That's not what.
And while she's doing this, it cuts like kind of like a lot of montages in this movie. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Shit, I almost forgot in my pitch. That was another one. That was like a key component of my pitch that I completely forgot. This reminded me of my notes because Anne Hathaway is constantly smoking cigarettes in this movie.
Oh yeah, yes,
a million cigarettes, just like in The Man Who Wasn't There. That guy smokes like a zillion cigarettes. In that movie.
Just to let you know, it's the 80s, right?
Exactly. Yeah, or the 40s in that case. But yes.
Oh yeah, 40s. Yeah, just remind you of the time period. So and while she's doing this voiceover, there's like a montage of like the countryside and kind of how rough life is down in where she is.
El Salvador, yeah.
El Salvador, thank you. And then we're in like the newsroom, right, or the office, like in San Salvador still.
Yep. El Diario is the newspaper that she's working with, I guess.
Yeah, and there's still the montage is kind of still going on. There's still a voiceover about how shitty war is, basically. And then stuff from trailer. Boom, doors get kicked open. The police here, military is popping in, and it's the stuff from the trailer. Everyone just kind of runs, and then Elena and Rosie, Anne and Rosie just run to the airport, and it's like a very quick they're at the airport, and then I guess the military guys were chasing them, and they get on a plane, and they take off.
Yeah, and she's just like, moving fast, traveling light. We were younger. I was younger. And you're like, isn't this 2 years?
2 years early.
Like, what? Oh, so much has changed in 2 years.
I'm like, what?
Okay.
All right. So then we're in the dark room and getting some photos done, sharing some coffee. Yeah, and that's what she does for the voiceover, like, oh, we were younger. And then we get to the movie title card, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The last thing you wanted.
Yep.
In Morse code.
Mm-hmm. Then my notes get kind of incoherent here. I was like, we're at some North America, wherever.
Well, and then then we bounce to the National Press Building in 1984, DC.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I missed that title card.
Yeah, we get the title card, 1984, Washington, D.C., and then on the building, it's like they do a quick shot outside of like the building they're going into, and it says it's the National Press Building. So, and we get the Secretary of State giving like a little speech of nonsense, and they're kind of like, what's he saying?
Japan?
Yeah, he's just rambling on with bullshit, which is, classic. Am I right? Classic political head figure guy just saying stupid shit.
Last time I was Secretary of State, I did the same thing.
Right? Speech was just written by AI. Give me gobbledygook, please. Mm-hmm. And then just to show that, Anne's she's the go get him kind of
hard-hitting reporter.
She comes in hot with a question about the CIA and, makes everyone uncomfortable. And the Secretary of State's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. She asked about the mining in Nicaragua. And he's like, oh, well, you'd have to ask the Contras about that.
Yeah. And
she's like, well, didn't Reagan once say, I'm also a Contra? And he's like, what?
And he looks over and Ben Affleck's like, don't worry about it. I got this. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, don't worry. In the next 2 hours, I'll manage to make this go away.
Yeah. So, and then we get that finishes, and then we get the stuff from the trailer again, right? Where the Secretary of State's kind of giving a chat with Ben and being like, fucking
walk and talk.
Basically just does the old clean it up. Yeah, I don't want this going to blow up in someone's face. It's going to be mine, and I don't want that. Clean it up.
That's right.
Kind of sets what we got going on here. So then we're at the apartment, right? Where we cut to her apartment. And they're kind of setting in like the, I guess the heart of the story here. She's on the phone talking with her daughter and talking about how she went and spread grandma's ashes or something, right?
Yep, exactly. She went to her mom's funeral. Reagan's on TV again, reminding us it's the 80s.
Right.
And I was like, I'm assuming this is her daughter. They don't explicitly say it's her daughter at this point, but
yeah, I assumed it was as well. First, I was like a kid. I'm like, okay,
yeah. And then basically, like they try to make us connect to the characters. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, she's like, I wanted to go to the funeral too. And she's like, well, you couldn't because you're away. And she's like, don't worry. Like, I have you to remind me of her. You look just like her. And the daughter's like, ah.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I don't like, yeah, they're trying to make you care for and be sympathetic to the character. And like, oh, maybe this is like her driving motivation, but I don't know why it just doesn't work. Like, and they come back to it every once in a while throughout the rrest of the movie, like her talking on the phone to her daughter, but it's just kind of like,
I think it's just written poorly.
Yeah. And then there's even a point where like, she's like, I'm kind of doing this for my daughter, but then she's like, I just want to walk away. I'm like, what is going on? What?
Yeah. And that's what made me like actually good connection to like Lord of War. Some like similar vibes of like, well, like I thought it was about family, but really it's just this is what I'm good at doing.
This is what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then we cut to press room, right? Or her office there.
Yep.
And basically their boss is just telling her like, yeah, you don't follow this story anymore. You're going to go on the campaign trail.
Yeah. I mean, he does, like, they try to make the boss out later to be just like a super asshole, but he's also like very concerned about her mom. He's like, oh, like, is everything okay? I know you like got your, and he's like, I'm trying to do this story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, no, you're going to go do campaign stuff. Smoking at work, by the way. And then the reporting on anything in South America is being like put on ice pretty much. They're getting a little pushback, right?
Yeah. Well, and he's like very explicit. Yeah. He's like, exactly on the pushback. He's like, oh, it's the government that's telling me to back off.
Yeah. It's business.
She's like, what? That's what we do here. I thought was hold people accountable.
Yes. That's what we're kind of supposed to be doing, but
oh, well,
yeah, I'm sure we'll learn our lesson.
Yeah. It's people's lives. We can't look away.
Yeah.
What she says.
And she storms out, and then we're still in the press room continuing, and we, her and Rosie chat, right?
Yeah, which again, not a character from the book, completely made up for the movie.
Completely made up, so she has some sounding board to talk to, because instead of just
basically
her going through the book is probably her going through her thoughts and like having like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, she says, well, on the bright side, you'll be on the campaign, you could be in the room with some important people, and blah blah blah, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
She's like, oh yeah, and
this is how you can get close to it anyway.
And then she gets a phone call from the Green Goblin.
Well, Peter.
Is this the Daily Bugle? So it's Dad. He's like, meet me at 5:30. Sorry, Willem Dafoe, but that's just what
what you sound like.
What you sound. It's fucking terrifying, but that's what you sound like.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great work.
Keep it up. Don't.
Bad movie, but
yeah, don't change.
Yeah, just be you.
So then we're at like a hotel bar. We
from the trailer.
All from the trailer. We learn a little bit more that Dad's basically just kind of a big jerk dick, right?
Oh, he sucks. Like,
dropping F-bombs and not the F-bombs we drop on here.
That's right. The bad kind.
The bad kind.
Yeah, and this is where like I know we've said this a few times on other movies that we've done, but like this movie came out in 2020 and like very recent. And you're like, it doesn't enhance the script. Like it doesn't, like you can show him being a dirtbag dad a million other ways. And like, I don't know, just like don't put slurs in your movies. Like there's very few instances. I could see it working in some cases, but in this case, it doesn't develop the character. It doesn't like.
Yeah, right? I agree, and I mean, it's like maybe they're trying to do like, well, it's the 80s, and that's like something that they would like, but that doesn't. I agree, like
unnecessary. Like, I mean, they make kind of like remarks about like the AIDS crisis later, and like, that is a way you can accomplish the same thing. And make it not have to put slurs in a movie.
It was also like kind of distracting from like what he was actually trying to say about those two guys, and I was like. So what I was like, who are they? What are they? Are they? I was like, I felt like he was trying to tell her like, oh, you just follow these guys around and like hope that they spill some beans or something like that. That's what I got out of that. But I was like,
I
think
yes. I don't know, but like, he's making a lot of like gay slurs and stuff, and you're like, why? It doesn't help or hurt the movie at all. Like you could just leave it out.
Yeah, maybe it's just there's backstory like maybe of like how who he is and like how he's brought up. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
if they try to like, I don't know. Yeah. If they try to give me the excuse of like, well, it was in the book, they changed a million other things in the book.
Oh yeah. No.
You added Rosie Perez. That's not a thing either. Like, don't give me that. No.
But so he's celebrating, and basically we just learned that he's a pretty big jerk, smoking in bars. Bunch of exposition here about how shitty Dad was. He wasn't around, really, right? And
so much exposition.
And it's like a twofold exposition about she's giving a whole speech about how he wasn't around during raising a kid, going through breast cancer, which strangely comes back later.
They shoehorned it in later,
and he's like, oh, whatever. I'm moving
to your success.
I'm moving some product.
Yeah,
and then we get
you overcame all that. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
She's like, I was trying to say no thanks to you, and he's like, I'm not interested.
Not interested. I'm saying you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Put on a smile, would you? Like, Jesus. Scumbag. And then
yes, right. All of those things give you the same impression.
Yeah,
having those earlier lines do.
And then I love the bomb at the end. I was confused. I was like, wait, he's like, he forgot his wife was dead. And I was like, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, is she dead? I'm confused now.
Yeah, she's definitely dead. That's like they'll make it clearer later, but he's dealing with memory issues.
Yeah. Some dementia or something going on there, right? So something he's terrible person, and he's kind of losing sight of the world there. So
yeah, and he's also sympathetic to the Contras at this point, because he's like talking about before the revolution when Havana was a real town in Cuba. Like he's anti-communist for sure.
Yeah, and then we're on an airplane. She gets on an airplane. I'm like, what is this airplane? It's just it's like a frat party on a plane. I'm like, what?
Yes. Very confusing. And presumably they're campaign bros, I guess. Right.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because they're following the campaign, right? That's
exactly.
Right,
She's on the trail of the Reagan campaign now.
Right. So we hit first stop, Kansas City, Missouri.
Ooh, Missouri.
Ooh, Missouri. Get that barbecue out. And there he is. There's
montage basically. It's like Reagan speeching, then there's more plane, then there's more Reagan, then there's more plane.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much, right?
It doesn't matter.
Then you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're at a fundraiser birthday party for the Secretary of State's wife.
That's right. Yeah, fundraisers for Reagan. The birthday parties for the wife.
Right. Yeah, I got something like that. Basically, what happened was Elena here got in the mix with the wife, chatting her up, and then now gets a seat at the table. The wife is like, "Hey, honey, Secretary of State, this nice woman wants to ask you a few questions."
Yeah,
I told her you would.
He's like, "No." Deny, no comment, deny.
No comment.
Yeah. No comment, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah. No, thank you, goodbye. And then some other dude steps in, I guess like his secretary. What was that guy's role? Like, what was he?
I think he was kind of like an Affleck style fixer also, because he comes up again. I hate this character because he they make him seem like he's going to be important, and then they give him like one other scene in the movie. Well, two other scenes. Yeah. But why? It doesn't move the story forward.
Yeah.
I guess the second one kind of, but like loose. Yeah. Like it's more like it's intentional misdirection. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. But he steps in and he's like, hey, if you want to, I thought he was going to play a much bigger role, but he does not really. I mean,
no, he's like, anyways. You got to schedule a meeting.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And then we get like a little bit of voiceover from Ben Affleck kicking in here, and then we cut to the Secretary of State's office there, right? Some stuff from the trailer, and basically we got Ben doing a bunch of exposition about Elena and her background, and intercut with like Ben walking around, stuff from trailer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's getting off a plane. Like they do a little cut back and forth.
Yeah, while he's still doing this exposition drop about the situation as well. And then that other guy who was in the last scene, I don't know his name. That's not really going to matter. But
no,
the two of them are kind of giving their own like pitch on to how to handle the situation.
Exactly.
And they're butting heads. And I think it's just to kind of show that Ben's like he's got some more suave moves here.
I think so. Yeah.
And like trying to advise the Secretary of State what to do. And I was like, I guess Ben Affleck's character won that round.
He did, decidedly.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
And he like wants to talk to her. Is like the kind of how that ends.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like, right. Don't worry, your thing's important too. Get out of here, other guy.
Yeah. Go do your thing.
Cool. Great. Cut to Houston.
Yeah, and here we are in a hotel room, and she gets delivery under her bed sheets, right? Yeah, it was
very sneaky.
Photos of some shady stuff and guns and stuff going on, and then
doll arms crates.
There it is, Dad.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe himself.
Yep, getting a little close to home here. Why don't you back off, lady? Little note.
Yeah,
and now she's a little razzled that someone.
Wait, did the note say back off? I thought the note said come to the dock or whatever. Maybe not.
I think the note said close to home ? Back off.
Okay, yeah, you did a good job then. I did that.
That's right. I just watched the 2 minutes.
We're almost a half an hour into the movie, and I'm like, alrighty, this is the worst.
It's boring.
Mhm.
And then we're back on the campaign. We're in Texas there. We got some honky tonk, good old Reagan Bush time here, right? Some cheerleaders dancing.
Cheerleaders dancing. Woo-wee.
Yep.
She's smoking up a storm.
Smoking. Here we go.
Mhm.
And then basically this whole scene is just her meeting with, I think he's the army general, a general in the army, right?
He is a army in army general, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Gus. General Gus.
Gus Sharp, right? He was all decorated. And it seems like they've had a past, history connections. They've helped each other, blah, blah, giving her information, it seemed like.
Yeah, from the trailer.
Yep. And he's like flipping through the photos and he's like, those are M16s and blah, 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 blah. Who's the old man? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I like how his catchphrase is, am I right?
Yeah. Am I right?
He says it like 4 times in this 2-minute scene for some reason.
I also there was a point where he was like, the way he was spouting stuff off, I was like, I don't know what he's saying. But it was like a ton of exposition just about.
Most of this movie is that way. And listeners, you're not going to get a good sense for this movie from me and Russ describing it probably.
No.
You'll get the broad strokes, but like, I think I'd be interested to see like how many words is this script, because they cram a lot of words into 2 hours.
Yes. There is a lot between voiceovers and everything else. And then all the reading you got to do too.
Yeah. Stupid.
So that's it. So she gets a little intel and a little insight on what's in the crates here. And
it's National Guard surplus.
The old soak crates. Yeah.
Not sure where it's going, but
probably know
Miami.
Probably know we're good.
Yeah, he does talk about the School of Americas briefly, which if the listeners aren't familiar, School of Americas are like they are schools that we, the United States government, army set up like all around basically Central and South America to train future right-wing dictators, more or less.
Fire it up.
So like, okay, I get it. We're talking about Contras now.
Yeah, getting into it.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the press room, and now we're in Los Angeles, California, right? Because we're still on a campaign trail here. This is stuff from the trailer. She's on the floor, the floor phones.
Yeah.
Just get a table. Just get a folding table. And then she's trying to convince the editor again over the phone with a bunch of exposition about why the guns, Contras, all this is important, and blah,
this
blah,
is more newsworthy than
poll numbers.
She's like,
gives a shit.
I want pie charts.
Yeah, I want my pie charts, and I want them now. I want them on my desk on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's pretty much that phone conversation, and she gets a concerning phone call about someone going to the hospital.
Yeah. When was this? Is he stable?
Now we're in Miami, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie bounces around a lot too. But then we're in Miami, Florida. Stuff from trailer. She's chatting with Rosie over the phone about again more exposition about.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just like, I don't know if I care anymore.
I have to be here. He doesn't have anyone else. He doesn't have I don't have siblings, and there's no
She's got to take care of the situation. Even though he's a piece of shit, I still have to take care of the situation. And she's going to be off the campaign trail indefinitely, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then it kind of ends with like a buzzer going off and everyone freaking out, and they follow her running into his room, and he's basically his brain is deteriorating.
Yeah, it's from the trailer, and before that, like the phone call with Rosie. That's when she's like, "Oh, I'm going to come down." Like when we thought it was like related to the movie, it's not. It's like a throwaway.
Yeah, it's a throwaway thing.
Yeah. And so he's making more gay jokes. He's asking for his dead late ex-wife, which Elizabeth in this case actually applies. She is dead
and late,
which is also dead and ex because they were divorced.
That's right. So there we go.
That's so we knew it.
So we do buy.
And then she's like, "No, Dad, I'm your daughter." And he's like, "Oh, whoopsie doodle."
Whoopsie doodle. Oh man, I got this big deal.
People to see.
I got this big deal going on. You got to do it now.
Yeah.
And she's like,
okay,
I'll take care of it. I was like, what? Like, no, just be like, no.
Like for all of the other things that we get 1,000-word essay about, like all of the important decisions that get made in this movie happen in like 1 second.
Sure, I'll take care of it. Yeah. It's also it's one of 3 men in this movie that just basically tell her what to do, and she goes and does it.
Yeah.
Right. Because like later on, Ben Affleck does the same thing. Go to this house, do this thing, talk to this guy, the big guy. Yeah. He does the same thing. And then there's one other person who's just like, just telling her what to do, and she's going around doing these things. Like, just stop.
She's doing all the things from the guys who who have proven themselves to not be trustworthy.
Yes.
Like all the bad characters she's listening to and all the good characters she's like, I don't know if I trust that person. Okay.
Aren't you a journalist? Can't you sniff out who's good and like what's going on here?
One would think.
All right, so we're at Dad's house, and basically it's just a sad cleaning montage here, right?
Yep.
A little cleaning, a little angry cleaning.
More smoking.
Shot of my refrigerator, 1 beer, slice of cheese, and mayo.
Yeah. Usually a loose cheese slice.
Just like a single Kraft American cheese slice in there.
Yeah, incredible.
Like, what else do you need? And some mayo and a Michelob, and she starts crying.
A single Michelob.
It's like, why is she crying? Is she crying because it's a Michelob? Is it like...
Right, because she takes the beer like she's going to drink it. We don't see her drink it, but
yeah, and she's going to like open it, and like the tears are. It's because it's a Michelob, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes in the closet and she starts digging through Dad's stuff and goes through some old photos, family photos and stuff like this. And then she
takes a shower.
Oh yeah, right.
For some reason, and then decides to clean out the house in a towel for the rest of the scene.
I don't.
Why?
What
an unnecessary part of the movie.
Yeah, cut that. Just go right to the cleaning out the.
A million ways to do this.
Same clothes, just in the closet now.
Yes. Yes. But it's got like pictures, baby pictures of the mom who's dead.
Gun.
More crying, right? Gun.
And then the most important piece is the piece of paper that's got the list of all the arms basically that are in the doll heads that are going to be dealt, right?
That's right. All the doll pieces.
All the list of 45 doll heads, 65 doll arms. And then we cut to hospital.
You want more arms than heads.
Yes. Right. Yes. Correct.
So then, she like checks the dry cleaning, which I thought that they was going to make into a thing, but they don't.
Yeah. I didn't get that.
Yeah. And then they just cut to the hospital. And
yeah. We're back at the hospital. Okay.
They're like quizzing Willem Dafoe on who the president is.
I'm the president. No.
He's like, Herbert Hoover. And then names every president since Hoover to Reagan. And he's like, oh. The doctor's like, you deserve first prize. He's like, wait,
what?
He
didn't really. He took him a while to get to the right answer. Like, what's going on here?
How do doctors don't talk like that?
Yeah. The guy didn't look like a doctor. He was like, whatever.
Yeah. And Anne Hathaway is like, what the hell? You're like, rightfully so.
Wasn't he also giving a little commentary about all the presidents he was naming was just being dummies or something too?
Yes.
Yes. I think there was like a little extra toss this in there.
So stupid. And like, why start at Hoover? Like,
yeah.
If you really want to be impressive, start at Washington.
Yeah. Know your prezes.
That's right.
So and then Willem Dafoe says a bunch of stuff here. I was like, I don't know what he's saying. I missed it, or it was just choppy.
It's very choppy. He's basically explaining the job. He says he finally, this is the one last job. I'm days away from retirement.
Yeah.
He took out all of his credit and got all of this stuff. And then somebody's going to pay him over $1 million in Citibank traveler's checks.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Sure. Someone.
Yeah. And then he's like, call this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do this thing, which they do multiple times throughout this. It's the old heist move. When you watch a heist movie where you have one character explaining what they're going to do, and then they intercut with those events actually happening. So you get like the voiceover with the thing happening. Exactly. And it's like following her, going, checking in, doing this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And he continues to ramble about the deal, blah, blah, blah. And then we're in the Rickenbacker Marina Bay somewhere.
She does at least tell Rosie also, by the like right before she gets to the dock.
Right.
She calls Rosie to fill her in, and it's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to this dock to meet this sketchy guy. She's like, what?
Don't worry about it.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I do. It has a great line though. Is that Willem Dafoe's line there? Now buck up. Bucko.
No, it's Rosie Perez line.
Oh, she says that? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, buck up, Bucko. Can't be worse than Salvador.
Buck up, Bucko. That's a mouthful. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, so we're down at the docks. We're hanging out by the Kitty Rex, Dad's boat, right?
Yeah, they introduce the dock guy who even though I was like, oh, I'm going to call him out earlier, so I don't call him dock guy the whole time. I'm calling him Sedwell. Sedwell.
Yeah, dock guy.
Yeah.
So more smoking outside, indoors, and then he comes out, and this is stuff from the trailer, right? And he's a big guy, and he's just like,
yeah.
You waiting for somebody? Hey, you waiting for somebody?
He's basically, if you need anything, call me first on this pager. I've got this pager. It's the 80s.
Yes.
In case you forgot.
Just so you know, it's the 1980s.
That's right.
And this
she's
again,
like, what can I possibly need from you? And he's like, you're going to need a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What you're about to do?
Yeah. Just wait until the second act of this movie.
And then the same thing just happens. We have now this guy is telling her what to do, and she's going along with it. And then it's intercut again with the shots of her doing those things. You're going to go check in a hotel. You're going to get into Pan Am Club members' house, whatever. Members only section, whatever.
Yeah, I blacked out.
And then you're meeting Gary Barnett. I think
Gary Barnett. That's right.
How will I know who he is? He'll know who you are. And then there's like, she's in. So then now we're in the Pan Am, like members club room, right?
And he's like, make sure you don't talk to the other person there. You have to talk to the blonde one.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then there's like this guy at the bar who very much stands out. I'm like, if that's Gary Barnett, come on. But this is our first moment. This is our first kind of Kaiser Soze clue-ish here, right? Two things happen here where
kind of.
It's just like it's at the very end. They're like, ha, gotcha. Remember those two people?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah. So
she overhears someone behind her talking about Salvador, and you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And she's like smoking a cigarette. The guy at the bar is staring at her.
Yeah.
And then like walks out. And then the lady that she wasn't supposed to talk to comes in and is like, you're not authorized to be here. This is members only.
Members only. I might come back later on in the movie.
That's right. That's right.
As a secret agent.
So annoying.
And then we do get, so we are looking for Gary Barnett, and I don't think we don't know anything about Bob yet or Max Epperson, right? Okay. But that character is in the room.
Yeah.
He's talking about Salvador behind her. He's all in white. He very much stands out. So
yeah,
it'll all come together at the end. So then we're back at Dad's house, right?
Right? No? I guess so. Yeah.
Maybe I kind of jumped through some stuff here, but
that's fine. Basically, Doc guy calls her while she's back at Dad's house, and he's like, "Somebody noticed you that wasn't Steve. You shouldn't have noticed because like she didn't
meet Gary Barnett there.
She didn't do anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Nothing happened, right?
And basically, she yells at the guy and says, "You're just not that fucking important anymore." And you're like, "Wait, what?" Where is this? Why are you lashing out at Doc guy? He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's like, what's he done? You screwed up here.
You're mad at your dad.
Yeah, really, deep down.
Yes. Stop putting it on Doc, guys.
Yeah, and then she basically just hangs up in a fury, and she's done.
Yeah.
Just is that Jerry Falwell on the news there?
No, I think that was George. I thought that was H.W. Bush.
Oh, I thought the banner on the bottom said Jerry Falwell.
Oh, did it say Jerry Falwell?
Yeah,
okay, that makes more sense.
Gross.
I mean, either applies, but both talking about how gay people are evil.
Yeah, I was like, gross.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get a quick shot. Just
good catch. I thought it was Bush. Just assumed it was Bush.
Yeah, it was Falwell, all right. Yeah. And then middle of the night, dogs start barking, right?
Yeah. She grabs a gun then and like starts like stalking around the house, but it's just her dad in the kitchen.
Just dear old dad. Aw.
He's like, you want a drink?
Wow, you almost shot me. You want a drink? I get you, Spider-Man. Where were you, Dad? Oh, not hunting. not looking for Peter Parker. I mean,
God, stop calling me Peter. He's like, I'm going to retire. This is my retirement gig. He's like, you got to do this because this is the last job.
It's leaning into like her motivation and reasoning for doing this, but really deep down, she's not doing it for him, but she's doing it for herself. She's looking for a story, right? But under the guise that she's doing this for her dad for his last thing. But
yeah. And then they heavy-handedly again remind us that he has memory issues because he is again like, I wish your mom would call me more.
Yeah. And he just starts doing that. He's like, Willem Dafoe laughing. Willem Dafoe laughing for 5 minutes would have been so great. Just right here. Spilling the scotch. Just walking around the room.
Yeah. Go full Skeletor.
Fucking full Willem Dafoe. And then he's like, I patched up things with the big guy there, Doc guy there. And she just has to show up, you know?
Yeah. And then she's like, okay. Well, she doesn't say okay, but
no,
she doesn't say anything, and he takes that as a yes.
Yes.
He's like, great. I'm glad you agree.
I take your silence as agreement.
Yes. So
the classic silence means yes.
Yeah, classic dad.
Classic dad. So then we meet the big guy here, the doc guy, and we're at the warehouse. He's in his like garage place, right?
Yeah.
And he shows her the crates, the crates.
Yes. Yeah. We can gloss over that because it doesn't
just
matter.
get the deal done. He's like, yeah, this is all the stuff. Just
basically
go do it.
These crates are your problem now. He's like, you got to sell these. If someone tells you something's off, you tell them to go fuck themselves. You collect the money, you get to the airport, and then you come home.
Yep.
And she's like,
that's it.
You spit when you talk, and he's like, you love it.
You love it.
And you're like,
gross.
What? Why are these lines in the movie? Like, just cut that.
Trying to be, I guess, funny.
Cut that.
Got it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So go get the deal done, and then we're back at home, and basically just dad being a jerk.
Like, where's the other nurse? This nurse isn't even a real nurse. She steals my shoes.
like what?
And then he basically does a bunch of exposition about how to do the job. He's like, you gotta, do whatever. It doesn't matter. And then he's like, if they'll have to answer to Max Epperson if anything goes wrong. Don't forget, like make sure you know that name, like Max Epperson. Tell them that whatever. Right. Which is important. That's important later on because it does come up, right? So, and he's like, promise you'll call, and she's like, yeah, of course I'll call. And then she kisses his forehead and she leaves.
And that seems like a good spot to end the first part.
Yeah, like 45 minutes ish into the movie.
This breakdown. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know what's going to end up happening, right?
Well, I do. Did you not finish the movie?
No, I fell asleep at this point.
Smart.
Yeah, napped away. Yeah, so I don't know. That's it, right?
Will she die? Yeah. Yes, we already said that at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Well, damn it. Yes, she will. She will.
Will Willem Dafoe die? I hope never. Does Ben Affleck die?
Kind of wish he would.
Not in real life, though.
No. Of course not. I don't wish it upon anyone.
Right. Well,
yeah. I'll put a list together.
Yeah, listeners, if you have people.
Nope, don't send us that. Don't want to know. Nope. Don't send us anything like that.
Yeah, you should probably end it before I say something bad.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2, and we'll answer all the questions of who dies in this movie. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, though, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter. Wherever you listen, subscribe. If you got a friend who you think might like it, send along. And while you're telling your friend all the awesome things about ITMT, just write those things down on a note so you can put them in a review later and say the nice things again. Easy. Copy, paste, copy pasta, right? That's right. Attach 5 stars to it. Apple or Spotify, wherever you can review us, please do. Or Yelp. I don't care.
Yeah. Leave us some Yelp reviews. I would love that. Open Table, Yelp. It's hard to make a reservation here. Always booked. Staff is rude. Donna Mint, she doesn't like those calls, so don't. That's right. Or you could send us an email if you want to write something long. Send us a novel. Send us a script. We've solicited scripts a bunch and never gotten one. So yeah, we'll steal it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll produce it. Produce it. That's what you meant. That's the word I meant. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or you can go to the website, find all the information about us. Speaking of Donna Mint, all the whole ITMT cast of characters. Yeah. All the old episodes, the ITMT back catalog. We're closing in on it. Actually, I'll save it for the next one, but we're closing in on 200 real quick. 200 apps, nice and soon. And yeah, it's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.